A little birdie told me yesterday that crypto is dead, that crypto will never be a thing of the future. Guess what I told that little birdie? Be careful, my little friend. The cat's out of the bag. So, guys, cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, go down the list, Binance Coin, USD Tether, Solana, everything that's trying to compete, even Internet Computer. ICP, is it? I'm not a very big fan, but hey, it's something out there that has been created. We shall see what comes out of it. Okay, I'm not going to focus on that. So, we have Bitcoin that started everything. Democratizing finance. We have the internet. If someone told you that the internet is one of the greatest innovations that was ever invented, you don't doubt that because you've interacted with the internet, you've shopped, you've done everything. Your whole life essentially revolves around the internet. And having access to tools that can easily help you access that internet, it makes that whole experience more practical and more fruitful in the sense that if someone posed that question, you would not be doubtful. So now imagine, guys, the internet, this amazing force in this world that is decentralized. It still has a few centralized ports. The internet has to go through fiber cables, and the government can decide to, because the internet as a whole is controlled in different countries, is controlled by different central entities. So a tyrannical, whatever government can say that, oh, you're not allowed to beam certain websites, you're not allowed to beam a certain range of the internet or certain aspects of the internet. You can limit the ISP or the people's access through the ISP, what they can access, what they can see. It's very difficult to do that, but some countries have kind of managed to pull it off. But the point is, the internet is massive. The internet has become something that is somewhat of a right for everyone to interact with. So the reason why I'm talking about the internet is, ask yourself, the internet is the most, if not one of the most important thing, because it has democratized knowledge. It has brought every library out there from every part of the globe. It has infused, it has allowed the cooperation, it has allowed cooperation of different people and different companies and different individuals, artists, musicians, across borders, without having to travel to those different places. It has allowed information to get in the palm of your hands that easily. By a snap of the finger, by a slide of a finger, you have access to information that any king in the past, the most powerful leader, did not have access to the information that you have access to, all because of the internet. So the question you have to ask yourself, this humongous thing called the internet does not have a financial layer. There's no way to transact on it. You can't say it's PayPal. You can't say it's Venmo. The closest thing I could say actually is the innovation. Well, there's centralized applications like WeChat when you go to China, but many countries still, all those things channel through a bank. The only somewhat decentralized thing that I've seen actually is the innovation that came from Africa, which is called mobile money. And this thing started from Kenya. So essentially, you can hold money on your phone. There has to be no interaction with the bank. You go to a kiosk, a small shop, or it could be a small shop, could be a big shop. There's a mobile money center in there. You take your cash. The person takes your cash, then deposits money onto your phone. Now you can send this money into the bank. You can send this money onto another person's phone. You can even interact with cryptocurrency platforms or any other centralized fiat or non-fiat, whatever platform that is incorporating mobile money, and your transaction becomes between your phone and that entity. The only difference is that with mobile money, at least from countries that have seen it practically being used, those centers are mostly obviously controlled by the telecom companies that control that money transfer. So they're the ones that create that application, and they're the ones that create those digital numbers on your phone that represent how much money you have, or that turn your cash into that money, and equally are able to help you convert that money into cash if you want to do that. So the question is, ask yourself, this thing we call internet does not have a financial layer? All these kids that are earning money from doing YouTube channels, from doing Twitch, from playing online games, all this whole industry, the potentially multi-trillion-dollar industry in the future of the gaming industry, where is the financial layer? What cryptocurrency is doing is that it's democratizing not only the physical world, not only the virtual world, but also the physical world. But it's also democratizing the virtual world as well, because the virtual world, as we know it, the simplest example, you play a video game. I'm sure most people understand video games. Within a video game, you can buy skins, so you can change what your character wears. Within a video game, you can buy swords, you can buy all these different instruments. So imagine that instrument within that virtual world or within that video game, or if you buy something on Amazon that's in virtual nature, but if you can prove that you're the one that that has the signature to that particular virtual item, then you can go to any time you can make a claim of that item. So what cryptocurrencies do and what blockchain and distributed ledger technology does is that it allows us to create identity for every single item out there. It allows us to democratize the virtual world and the physical world. The physical world in the sense that any kid from the highest point of the globe to the lowest point of the globe, if you have one Ethereum, it's the same Ethereum held by the Queen of England. You have the same Ethereum. If you have 0.1 Bitcoin, it's the same 0.1 Bitcoin that Elon Musk holds. Obviously, he holds more. But I'm just trying to put things into perspective. With dollars, if you're holding a bunch of dollars, even if you're holding $10 million, the Federal Reserve that is in charge of printing money holds way more than you because they can just print as much as they want. With cryptocurrencies, there is a limited supply. You can create your own ecosystem of your own your own utility tokens that govern whatever you want. If you have a physical gold mine, you can tokenize that gold mine. Or you have a business and you want to start, you can say that, hey guys, I'm going to give all the participants in this project these tokens. They may not have a value right now, but they are a representation of your share in this company. And if that company grows and becomes valuable, those tokens, especially if they're in limited supply, so your ownership of that company, you can decide when to transfer it to anyone. You don't need a central place you go to that allows you to trade shares. You buy or sell, you have to travel to go to that place. Or if you can do it online, you have to go through a central entity. So the internet, all the video games that are coming up, you can have an identity of this item, this skin, this sword, whatever, and you can easily shift it to another person. You can send this sword to your sick mother out there who needs some medicine. She can sell that sword on a centralized entity that much easily because it's liquid, and then she can cash out that money and then take care of herself, buy the medicine, buy everything that she needs to get better. If you're an artist, you can draw your art. The only limit is how much you're willing to put in your art. But after that, you can compete. You can solicit your customers from anywhere in the globe. You don't have to go through any centralized entity. You don't have to depend on some physical art shop out there that's either going to accept your art or not. You can just directly interact with anyone in the globe at any one time. This financial system is all underlying on the internet. So that is what cryptocurrency is going to do. It's it's the financial layer that's going to really redefine what the internet can do. If we think we've seen what the internet can do because there's a bunch of companies like Facebook, Amazon, Instagram. There's this weird app called OnlyFans, guys. I just heard about it. Hey, so there's a lot on the internet. People doing YouTube channels and they'll directly get paid. They don't have to go through a centralized entity to get paid. So there's so many things because there's so many people out there that can do YouTube channels, but they cannot get monetized because they don't have a banking system. They're locked out of the system. So what cryptocurrencies are doing is that anyone with access to a mobile phone and access to a stable internet connection, it might not even be stable because once the transaction is sent, that's it. It doesn't matter whether the internet is stable or not, it's going to go through. So asking yourself or telling yourself, convincing yourself that cryptocurrencies are dead or that they're dying is very short-minded and you haven't done enough research. The reason why on my channel I focus on a particular project, sometimes I talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, I like talking about XRP, I talk about sometimes Chainlink and what they're doing with oracles. I specifically like talking about projects that are innovating something specific. We can compare Ethereum. Ethereum came up with smart contracts. Then the reason why Binance Smart Chain has been able to take over, it has had more transactions ever than the Ethereum network. Don't quote me on that one, I could be wrong, but I read somewhere that during that, because there's a time during this year that the Binance Smart Chain was being used way more than the Ethereum blockchain. It's not because Ethereum is not nice, but it's because Binance actually just copy-pasted what Ethereum is doing, but then leveraged other types of consensus algorithms that make it faster. They straight away came in here with proof of stake. Guys, we've heard time and time again, I have nothing against Ethereum, we've heard time and time again Vitalik saying fixing the Ethereum problem, the scalability problem, is like fixing an airplane during mid-flight. I think a lot of people just hear that statement and they think, oh, it's a funny statement. It's a funny statement. No, it's not funny. It's actually, he's being real. It's being for real. I mean, are you going to go up there? Like, how many more years do we need to the point that we've successfully developed the technologies that can allow us to send people directly onto a plane to fix it while it's in mid-flight? I don't even think we shall reach that. I think we should just, because that's just redundant and pointless. I think we're going to skip over something that ridiculous unless someone has enough money to blow into something like that and go on to other types of aero technologies that allow us to navigate the skies without having to worry about diesel engines and whether they're going to get a problem or not. So it's very difficult to fix Ethereum. So the reason why Binance was able to take over in that period, because they exactly copied pasted the functionalities of the Ethereum network smart contracts. They did not just put out papers out there and start saying, apparently when I hear from CZ Binance actually, the CEO of Binance, he said they didn't really have anything to do with, but I think the Binance Smart Chain, what I think, because Binance had Binance. So the Binance Smart Chain it came up from someone who wasn't really directly under Binance. But then they proposed something that could actually work, and I imagine they got some funding from it's called, I think, Binance Labs. They must have gotten some funding from there, and then they developed this thing. And instead of Binance putting out papers, hey, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do, like many projects out there, some of them, I won't mention any names, some projects out there that are really big. People, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. No, Binance released the product. The product worked, the market tasted it as well, and people used it, people loved it, and it became successful. And it allowed all this innovation that we're seeing in the DeFi space, because it allows the simple, even if your interest is in Ethereum, you can come out, you can first try out on Binance and you can do whatever you have to do. So cryptocurrencies are not going away. Cryptocurrencies have democratized, they've directly pushed the financial system from the higher echelons to the so-called proletariat. They've pushed that financial access, instead of having a bank account in the Switzerland, functionalities that are limited to the bourgeoisie. All this has been pushed to the proletariat, to the point that anyone can play at the same playing field. I just told you initially that a kid somewhere in some random country owning one Ethereum and the Queen of England owning one Ethereum, they have the same Ethereum. That Ethereum can do the same things. It can be transferred to any part of the globe. And when I say Ethereum, I mean Bitcoin, I mean XRP, I mean every cryptocurrency out there that's not a scam. Okay? Because something that's a scam is not a store of value. You're going to put your money there, there's not going to be demand. I'm talking about liquid cryptocurrencies, things that are doing things. So I hope I put my point across. We're going to see real estate. We're going to see the automotive industry. We're going to see smart cities and the Internet of Things. We're going to have a financial layer placed onto, we're going to see the whole supply chain and how online stores work. We're going to see things like Amazon, things like eBay and other stores come up that are going to be able, in Africa, there's things like Jumaya, there's Lazada in Asia. We're going to see these stores and other stores come up and expand on a global level, because they no longer need that central banking, and those banking systems are limited in some countries. So they're going to have access to a lot more money. A lot more companies are going to grow bigger, but at the same time, a lot of small players that are doing constant research in the cryptocurrency space are going to invest in different projects that they believe in, that they think are going to be something in the future. And these projects are going to grow and become massive. And this is going to rebalance the whole income inequality that we're seeing in the world. Fine, the rich are going to get richer, but there's a lot of people from the lower echelons that will never save money to match up to these other people that already have investments in real estate and keep adding on to and pushing their money into venture capitalists and adding on to the money they have, investing tons of money, I don't know, into 401ks or other retirement accounts, because they have excess money to do that, so they can leverage from every single thing. With cryptocurrencies, you're going to have access to any organization out there that allows you to buy a share of this real estate in this country, to buy a share of this video game here, to contribute to this platform right here. You can buy a share of those things and have a little ownership of those things. And also investing in early projects is going to allow people to finally rebalance that initial income gap. Even if some people may not be as rich as the top 1%, it's going to give them a chance to play at an equal playing field with everyone else. Guys, that's all I want to say about cryptocurrencies today, how I feel about it. There's no amount of words that I can say that can summarize everything, but that's just a brief little corner in my brain that I've picked out to just talk about cryptocurrencies. There's a whole lot more things that can be put into perspective when it comes to having a financial layer on top of the internet. That is not going away. That is the future. Peace out, guys. I'll see you on the next one.